Hi everybody, happy Friday, happy New Year. I'm Jennifer Bryan, joined by Zuhei, and we are in the nursery.
Yes, we are.
At Southeastern Guide Dogs, because what better way to start the new year than with our new 2024 litter of puppies?
Yes, we have a litter of puppies that was born on
You got this.
January
4th.
Yes, January 4th. And it's a litter of three
Okay.
puppies. And their mom is Deed, and their dad is Tucker, as you
Okay.
can see here. So we're very excited, obviously, because they're the new litter. We like to obviously start fresh and do everything that we normally do with them. So right now, we actually have our education session going.
Okay.
And we have volunteer Kathy working with the puppies. Obviously, they're still very small, but as we all know, we are doing education with them when it's, when they're little, and we want to be able to start working with those puppies as soon as possible. So it's very important that we start that process when they're itty bitty. So we'll be going into the whelping room where mom and puppies are and our volunteers, so we can check out what they're doing.
Let's do it.
Awesome.
Okay.
Hi, Kathy. Hi, Deed.
Oh my goodness, Kathy, look how tiny.
Oh, they are tiny.
They are tiny. Okay. So this is Mama Deed, and she did such a good job with these babies. She's a good girl.
And I see the babies took after Dad. They're all black labs.
They are all black.
Okay.
Tucker is dominant for black.
Okay.
So all of his puppies will be black, no matter who he's bred to.
That's
so
very cool.
That is of course, that's very interesting. So we all know that when we breed Tucker, he's going to have all black puppies. Okay. So obviously Deed is a yellow dog, but all her babies are going to be black this time.
That's so cool. Okay.
Yeah. So
she's so good.
She's a very good mama. She's a good girl.
Okay, so Kathy, thank you for doing this with us.
Yes, thank you, Kathy.
And Zuhei, there's a reason behind everything she's doing at this moment,
There is,
right?
exactly. So what we're doing now is obviously these puppies are going to be handled a lot when they're going through their puppy raising and when they're coming back for training. So we want to really establish good foundation for those puppies to be able to accept body handling, accept brushing, any kind of grooming that we're going to do with those puppies as they get older. So Kathy right now is just doing very soft, very
oh, that's a tiny brush.
yeah, it's a tiny little brush, and it's a very soft strokes to get them used to it, to get them comfortable with it, because as of right now, obviously those puppies can't see, they can't hear, but they can smell really well, and they can feel very well.
Right.
So that is those are the senses that we're kind of working with as they are getting, as they're growing. So we want to make sure that those puppies are getting positive associations with whatever we are doing with them. So right now it is a little bit of body handling, a little bit of grooming, and obviously we're going to be doing their nails as they're growing so they can get used to that. So everything right now is very purposeful and making sure that we're setting them up for success as they get older.
And specifically, why is body handling important as they get older?
It's very important because it'll like I said, set the foundation for when they go to the vet, right? Okay. So when they go to the vet, the veterinarian wants to make sure that they're looking inside their ears, inside their mouth, their paws, their nails, that they are comfortable, with the veterinarian, making sure that they're getting a good body exam, right? So that's very important. So that's what we are trying to do now, that you are comfortable. Deed is very comfortable with body handling.
Megan's doing a really good job here, and I don't know how, because Mama here is just basically laid in her lap.
Yes. As it pertains to, breeders, when they are breeding, obviously there's a lot of body handling specifically for mamas, right? We really want our mamas to be comfortable with the breeding process, with the whelping process, because it is very hands-on. And sometimes, we do have to help and intervene. So we want to make sure that they are comfortable with that process as well. As you can tell, Deed is very comfortable with anyone just kind of holding her and petting her. So she does very well as a mama and as a breeder, because she does have that foundation of puppy education with us here in the Puppy Academy, and also with her puppy raiser. She had a really good established, bond with her there. So she's very comfortable with anyone really doing any kind of body handling.
Is this her
with her.
first litter?
This is her first litter,
Oh,
yes.
good job, Mama.
She did a very good job. She's a good girl.
And remind us, how many litters are they allowed to have before we say no more?
Right, so they can have up to 4 litters for us, and typically, it's not the like amount of puppies or anything like
Right.
that. It's really up to 4 litters, and that is for 2 reasons. We want our mamas to stay young and healthy and recover. So typically, they're about anywhere from like 4.5 to 5 years old when they get retired. So,
Okay.
so we really are breeding them from the age of 2 to about 5. And that gives us about 3 to 4 litters. And that is according to our, the International Guide Dog Federation standards and our Assistance Dogs International standards, and also veterinary recommendations. So we want to keep them healthy. We want them to be able to recover after they have their puppies and their whelping process and their weaning process. So that time is really prime time for them to be able to give us healthy puppies and for them to be able to recover and be healthy themselves.
Yes, absolutely. And just a reminder, our breeders, they're the cream of the crop. These dogs are chosen because they're in good health. They're very smart. They took on the training and did very well through all the processes.
Correct.
What else are you looking for with the breeders?
Yeah, so obviously health is very important for us. So we do keep track of their health, their puppy's health, their parents' health, their grandparents' health. So we are keeping track of all of that information. And then for temperament, it really depends on what traits we are working for and what we are looking for at any particular time. So we always have to be in constant contact with our training department and say, okay, like what are you seeing in these adult dogs? What are you liking? What do you want to see less of? Maybe you think things like that. I'll give you an example. So body sensitivity. We don't really want to see that in our working dogs, right? So when we do see that in our training department, they really communicate that with us and make sure that we are keeping track of like, oh, okay, let's make sure that when we're selecting new breeders, they don't have that particular trait or try to reduce it as much as possible.
Gotcha.
So that's one of the things that we work on with temperament. Health is pretty easy, right? Because it's very kind of, very direct, kind of black and white. Either they do have something or they don't. Right. So some of the other health traits are a little bit grayish, which we can work around, but health is a lot easier to work with than temperament because because temperament is a lot of environmental factors, right? So one of the things that obviously we are doing here, like Kathy is doing, is trying to set up those genes that puppy has in the best way possible to succeed in that environment. So we are making sure that, like I said, we are setting up those building blocks for those puppies to really be successful in really any career that they choose to.
All right, so they're about a little over a week old, just barely. And how much do they weigh? When do their eyes open? Tell me all the puppy facts.
Yeah, so actually, if we want, we can weigh one right now, so we can see the actual weight. And I'll cross over. And puppy eyes, ears are completely closed when they are born. And they start really kind of opening up gradually as they are hitting between like 10, 11 days. They don't just pop open. They start kind of like unzipping little by little. So this puppy is 1 pound, 10.5 ounces. Aww. So they're growing, and typically puppies are increasing. We do weigh these puppies twice a day for the first week. And then we reduce once a day after that, and making sure that they're gaining appropriately. We also don't want them to gain too much weight too fast. That is important for a litter like this when there's only 3 of them. They have like a buffet all day long, right? So you can see in their whelping bed, we do put little climbing things in there to make sure that they are using their arms, legs, body appropriately to make sure that they don't have any issues getting around, or they don't weigh too much to pull themselves up. So that is one thing that we do keep in mind when we have smaller litters, smaller than about 7.
That's interesting.
We want to make sure that those puppies don't gain too much weight too fast.
Yeah,
So,
I've seen some chunky puppies.
They're yeah.
They do. They have a hard time
They
moving
do
around.
have, that's one thing that we obviously don't want to happen. So we want to make sure that, like I said, everything we're doing now is really trying to build that puppy up for the success that we want in each puppy. We want them to obviously move around. That's important. And then we are also incorporating any kind of like fitness for mom as well. We want her to be in the best shape as possible. So making sure that she's lactating correctly, making sure that she's active, making sure that she's working, well with her puppies, and her puppies are moving as they are supposed to. So
She looks great, honestly.
Yeah, she's happy, she's healthy.
She's very happy.
She's a good girl. She's a good girl. So she's doing very, very well. Her puppies are doing well. As you can see, they are, if they're sleeping and if they're doing the things they're supposed to, they'll be nice, quiet, happy babies.
Wonderful.
So it's always nice to be able to see them sleeping and snuggling with each other as well.
Oh, well, congratulations on your first litter of the year.
It's very exciting. Obviously, we love all the litters,
Yes,
but
of
it
course.
is very exciting when we see the start of the new year, and it's exciting for us to be able to show you guys.
Aw. Okay, I know we don't want to end this, but Megan's knees are probably killing her because Mama here is still laying on Megan, and I bet you didn't plan to film this whole thing on your knees, did you?
It's fine.
Megan is our
It's worth
amazing-
it. It's worth
amazing
it.
camera woman here. She's very talented.
She is very talented.
All right, you guys. Well, thank you so much for sharing these little darlings with us.
Of course, anytime. We are always happy to show what we do here. Of course, all of our little superheroes want to make sure that they are, like I said, building them up for success.
Awesome. All right. Have a good afternoon, everybody.
Thank you, everyone.